Lan Wangji moved with care, slow, deliberate, like he was handling something far too precious to rush. He loosened the ties of Wei Wuxian's robes that he had just put on, revealing him piece by piece. His touch followed, light along the curve of his shoulder, then lower, tracing paths he seemed to memorize rather than explore. His fingers paused at his chest, lingering there. Wei Wuxian began to speak, but the words did not come. Lan Wangji leaned down and pressed a gentle kiss above Wei Wuxian's heart, feeling the rapid beat beneath his lips. Wei Wuxian shuddered at the contact, his hand tightening instinctively against Lan Wangji's shoulder, grounding himself against the intensity of it. His voice came out low, almost breathless, as he admitted he might not survive being touched like that. Lan Wangji did not pull away. His answer came quiet, close against him, not asking him to survive, but to stay. Wei Wuxian moved suddenly, turning them over before the moment could settle too deeply. Lan Wangji landed on his back, the shift catching him off guard for just a second. Wei Wuxian followed, settling over him loosely, his hair falling forward like a dark curtain, framing his face as he looked down with a familiar teasing glint. He addressed him playfully, the tone light but carrying something warmer beneath it, asking if he was trying to seduce him. Lan Wangji met his gaze without flinching, calm as ever, and asked if it was working. That earned a soft laugh. Wei Wuxian leaned down again, the space between them barely there now. He admitted that it was, perhaps a little too well. Their lips met again and again, unhurried but no longer uncertain. Wei Wuxian eventually pulled back with a quiet sound. One hand braced against Lan Wangji's chest to steady himself, while the other moved lower, slow and absent-minded, as if guided more by feeling than thought. The air had grown warmer, thick with closeness. They moved together slowly, finding each other without rush, breaths uneven, names slipping out between them like something fragile and precious. Lan Wangji's hands never left him. One remained steady at Wei Wuxian's lower back, keeping him close, grounding him. The other rested in his hair, fingers threading through it, holding him there as if he never wanted to lose this again. When Wei Wuxian leaned in and murmured his name near his throat, Lan Wangji's breath faltered, just slightly, just enough to be felt. Their names passed between them in turn, quiet, certain, each one carrying more than sound, something deeper, something that stayed. They held on to each other through every shift, every unsteady breath, every small tremor that passed between them. There was no distance left, no masks, only truth, spoken without words, in touch, in closeness, in the way their eyes never turned away. And when the moment reached its peak, there were no words at all, only sharp, unsteady breath, fingers tightening unconsciously, a body leaning fully into the other. Lan Wangji bowed over him slightly, his forehead coming to rest near his shoulder, his entire body stilled but for the faint tremor that lingered. Wei Wuxian wrapped his arms around him immediately, holding him close, steadying him, not letting go. And in that quiet aftermath, they remained exactly like that, together. The room was filled with late morning light now, dust drifting lazily through the beams stretching across the floor. They lay there, still tangled together. Lan Wangji lay half on his side, head resting on his arm, watching Wei Wuxian breathe, not just watching. He listened to every breath Wei Wuxian took, as if each one mattered. Wei Wuxian lay on his stomach. He had buried his face into Lan Wangji's neck, hair loose and tousled. His lips were still slightly parted, as if the last breath he had taken had not fully settled yet, their legs loosely intertwined, their bodies still close, still warm. Their breathing had not fully steadied yet, hearts lingering in that quiet, uneven rhythm. Neither of them moved. For a while, neither of them spoke, only soft breaths, and the faint sounds of morning birds drifting in through the window. Their bodies still carried the quiet, echoing warmth, an aftertrace of closeness that hadn't faded yet. Faint marks, faint impressions, nothing harsh, nothing heavy. And between them, no guilt, no regret, only stillness, only breath, only peace. Eventually, Vivusian let out a soft sigh, content and almost lazy. He mentioned lightly that they probably should get dressed. Lanwangji acknowledged it, but neither of them moved. Vivusian turned onto his side with a quiet groan, pushing himself up slowly, rubbing the back of his neck before glancing down at the state of their clothes, crumpled, scattered, one still loosely tangled with Lanwangji's ribbon. He muttered that it was complete chaos. Lanwangji rose without comment. Gathering the garments, he shook them out, folding his own with quiet precision, then paused. He returned to the bed. Without a word, he helped Vivusian, adjusting his inner robe over his shoulders with steady hands. Vivusian watched him the entire time. There was something almost unreal about it. He asked lightly if he was being dressed now. Lanwangji answered simply. Vivusian warned him he might get used to it. Lanwangji's hands paused, just briefly, then resumed. He told him he could. Once dressed, they moved to sit by the window, close enough that the space between them never truly returned. Vivusian poured tea for both of them, his hands steady, a quiet smile still lingering on his lips. He spoke without looking at him first, saying, "It felt like everything had already been said." Lanwangji agreed, but Vivusian added that he wanted to say it again. This time he looked up. His gaze was soft, open. He said he loved him. Lanwangji held his eyes and answered that he loved him too. They drank in silence. Lanwangji retrieved his forehead ribbon. Vivusian watched quietly as he tied it back into place, his fingers moving with slow, practiced grace. The motion was familiar, controlled, precise, and the moment the knot was secured, he looked like Hangwanjun again. Composed, untouchable, perfectly put together, but only on the surface. Vivusian's gaze lingered a moment longer, hidden beneath the edge of his collar, subtle but enough. Proof. Proof that even Lanwangji could come undone, and that he had. For him. Vivusian turned away only to finish tying his own hair, movements far less careful, flicking the end of his ribbon over his shoulder with easy care. Then he tilted his head slightly and asked if he looked all right. Lanwangji stepped closer without hesitation. He reached out, adjusting a single loose strand behind Vivusian's ear, his touch brief but deliberate. Then he answered simply, "You look loved." For a moment Vivusian freezes, then smiled so wide it hurt. He called him dangerous again. Lanwangji leaned forward, resting their foreheads together, telling him to stay close. When they finally stepped out of the inn, the world greeted them as it always did, alive, loud, full of motion. Birds crossed the sky, voices carried through the streets, children ran past without care. Vivusian took it in slowly, but this time he did not walk ahead, did not fall behind. He walked beside Lanwangji, close enough that their shoulders brushed, as if that had always been the place he was meant to stand. No one stared, no one stopped them, and even if they did, it would not have mattered, because now Vivusian knew he was loved, he was chosen, and he was no longer alone.